It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by John's Heating and Air, Command Family Medicine, and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. Today is the day. It's Tuesday, February 18th, and we are staring down a winter storm. It's already on the radar, and we had some echoes showing up there, some snowfall already in the state of Missouri, also in northern Arkansas. However, the radar is really going to blossom by the time we get to the midday hour. So the show really just now beginning. No, you're not waking up to a foot of snow, but by the time the day is over, there will be folks that see 12, 13, 14, maybe even up to 16 inches of snow in the Ozarks. It's not going to be for everybody, but there will be a widespread region in the Ozarks dealing with a lot of snowfall. And this means treacherous travel through the day and extreme cold setting in. I'll dive right in this morning because temperatures to start, well, they're either side of about 10 degrees this morning. It is a cold start and we are not warming up much. Numbers only at about 15 today. Only be out if you absolutely have to be, if it's required for you. I hope that you've already done the planning for preparing your vehicle to be out in temperatures like this, also snowfall like this. Not everyone can make it through this type of snowfall. This is going to be one of those light, fluffy snows, and there will be wind in the forecast today too. So it's going to be blowing around. The drifts are going to make it very difficult for the road crews to be clearing some of the streets by midday. And things, they might look okay right now. You think, oh, no big deal. This snow is going to come down heavy at times, and accumulation can happen in less than an hour. So roads will become impassable very quickly. That's kind of what I want to start the podcast with this morning, just the severity of this winter storm. It's major for all of the Ozarks. I mean, really, travel is not advised across the area today. I think it's going to be very tough tomorrow, too. But there's this thing called the Winter Storm Severity Index, and the National Weather Service uses it to kind of predict where you might have some issues with businesses, schools closing, some infrastructure issues with winter weather. Yeah, when you look at the map, the entire Ozarks is red, which means major impacts are expected. So considerable disruptions to daily life and dangerous, maybe even impassable travel is expected in these areas. That is the case for us. So blowing and drifting snow are also going to create very hazardous travel conditions for us here in the Ozarks. When you look at the weather map today, the storm system everybody's talking about, well, it's for us. So this time, it looks like it's going to be moving right through the Ozarks, extending into southern Missouri, and eventually it'll make its way into south central Illinois. There are also going to be some very high snowfall totals for our friends in northern Arkansas. I don't have anything aside from snowfall for us. So I guess that's maybe the good news for us this time. No freezing rain, no sleet in this forecast for us. I think for everybody in the Ozarks, this is snowfall because the temperatures are just so cold. There will be periods of moderate to heavy snow beginning mid to late morning, and then this is really going to blossom on the radar through midday. The lunch hour, I think you look at the radar and there's snow everywhere, and it's coming down at a moderate to heavy rate at that time. Of course, snowfall amounts, that's what everybody wants to know. And basically, I've got the Highway 60 corridor getting anywhere from 8 inches to a foot. But I have to tell you, there will be spots that get isolated totals that are higher than that. I told you this snow is going to be really difficult to measure because it will be drifting and it's just going to be kind of hard to get a read on in some places. Once you get, in my opinion, once you get above like 8 inches of snow, it's like, who cares how much we got? 12, 16, it's all too much. And at that point, it's very difficult to dig out. It takes road crews a long time to clear that amount of snow. So I think we're going to need our patience around for the rest of the week here. We have very dangerous travel conditions. I really hope you consider just hunkering down and staying home if you can today and tomorrow, probably for the rest of the week in a few places. If we do really get those isolated places getting 16 inches of snowfall, that's going to shut us down for several days. Northwest winds today, 25 miles an hour. So even though the high temperature forecast is a balmy 15, it's only going to feel like 0 all day long. So the wind chill factor is going to be a problem all day. Consider this also if you absolutely have to get out, you have to go scrape the car. Plan some breaks to, be outside for a limited amount of time and then come in because it's just going to be too cold to be out for any extended period of time. That goes for shoveling the driveway too. Drink plenty of water and take breaks indoors. Allow your body to recover from the extreme cold. Roads are going to become icy quickly. I already mentioned this, but this is going to be a dry snow, which means it can accumulate a little bit quicker. It's kind of the dusty stuff that blows around easily. Well, as soon as a car or a vehicle drives over that on the road, it kind of just adheres to the surface. So roads are going to become icy fast. I told you this morning it might not look bad in your town if the snow has already begun, but once it does, I think roads are icy quickly, and that's the reason we have these winter storm warnings until 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning. It is going to be incredibly difficult to get around in the Ozarks, and I'm expecting a lot of business and school closures as we head through today and tomorrow as well. I also expect the snow will come to an end. That happens late tonight into early Wednesday morning, but it's going to be a long while before it melts because the temperature forecast is just so cold. Not only do we have this winter weather event, but we also have something called a cold weather advisory that's going to be in place for both Wednesday and Thursday. Wind chill values, unbelievable. Feeling more like -10 to -15, maybe even close to -20 on Thursday morning. It will be incredibly dangerous to be outside. So make sure you're putting all those plans in place too for the home. We may need to consider dripping faucets and things like that now that the extreme cold is here with the incredible snowfall event. Around the country, what's happening? We've got record cold spilling south through much of the plains, and there are record high temperatures for the northern plains, the southern plains, and probably in the central portion of the country here too. Our winter storm that's making its way across the mid-Mississippi Valley is making national news headlines. And then we've also got areas of mountain snow and lower elevation rain forecast across the Pacific Northwest and the northern Rockies for the next few days. That is also making national news headlines. I want to emphasize that while the Ozarks is seeing some extreme snowfall totals for us, anywhere from 8 to 12 inches along the Highway 60 corridor, isolated amounts up to 16. Well, the cutoff is going to be pretty steep. So up in central Missouri, not expecting as much, anywhere from 3 to 6 inches up there. And the cutoff is also going to happen in northern Arkansas across the state line, also 3 to 6 inches. So still a good snowfall, one that will impact travel today, but maybe not quite the event closer to a foot of snowfall that's happening everywhere else. So an exciting day in the Ozarks weather-wise, to say the very least. All right, here's a look at the brain twister trivia question for the day. Did you know this one? It has to do with snowfall records. What is the normal snowfall amount for Springfield in the month of February? So over the last 30 years, when you average it all together for the month, how much snowfall do we see in February? Do you think the answer is A, 1.2 inches, B, 3.3 inches, C, 8 inches, or D, 10.4 inches? Well, would you believe that is a measly 3.3 inches of snow? That is on average for February in the month of Springfield. And I think we are just going to absolutely blow that monthly average out of the water in a one-day snowfall event. Today it could be one for the record books, and it could certainly be one of the biggest snows we've seen around here in at least the last decade. It's going to be an incredible sight to see in many places. All right, here is the question that I'll leave you with for tomorrow. We're talking snow in the quiz question today. Tomorrow's quiz question has to do with the extreme cold. What is the coldest temperature ever recorded in the state of Missouri? The options that I have for you this morning are -6 degrees Fahrenheit, -13 degrees Fahrenheit, -28 Fahrenheit, or -40 degrees Fahrenheit. You can let me know your guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. Hey, I want to let you know that that site will be updated all day long. I'm expecting a couple inches on the ground by the lunch hour for most of us here in the Ozarks. I think by 5 p.m., there are places reporting 6, 8, maybe even 10 inches of snow, and we're not done yet. Even more on the way late tonight into this evening before this wraps up and gets out of here. I hope everyone stays safe in the Ozarks and stay in if you can. Protect yourself from the extreme cold. I'll be back to chat with you tomorrow morning. We'll talk about how much you got. Thanks so much to our sponsors, John's Heating and Air, Command Family Medicine, and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. We'll chat again.